Everything you think you know about good bowling is wrong in T20s. Let me explain. Top of off, hit the seam, repeat the length, build pressure. Now try that against Abhishek Sharma. In this format, repetition isn't discipline, it's predictability. And predictability, it's suicide. What looks like bad bowling, wide, ugly, chaotic, might be the only thing keeping you alive. And I use Abhishek Sharma as the model T20 batter here. He also looks like a model, but that's for another day. It is said that batting is a game of anticipation, but T20 hitting, even more so. There's not enough time to react and tonk the ball outside the park. When the commentators say Sharma has picked the length early, he's actually anticipated the pitch of the ball. When AB de Villiers shuffled on the crease, the point was to anticipate the psyche of the bowlers. When Joss Butler shakes his shoulder before the ball is even released, you know where he's going to send it, irrespective of where it's bowled. Considering the way the sport has evolved in the last 3 or 4 years, the only way to beat this anticipation is to be unpredictable. What used to be good bowling is the most predictable a T20 bowler could be. Bowling out of the hitting arc, even at the cost of conceding 2 or 3 wides, is an acceptable tactic, something that is discouraged from a very young age in cricket coaching. It is negative, they say. And it's not really rocket science, this change. In the longer formats of the game, the overs are plenty and the primary aim is to protect the wickets to make the most of them. In the T20 version, you get 120 balls and the aim of the bowling team is to not let you score off as many balls as you can. If you miss a ball, it matters a lot more, much like baseball, and we'll return to it. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But for a sport as conservative as cricket, it has been tremendously hard to understand. To discard notions about bowling that had evolved over centuries. Ashish Nehra was spreading his length ball propaganda until a couple of years ago. And to be fair, he wasn't entirely wrong. For a long time, articles on T20 bowling complained that bowlers were overusing variations. The logic was simple. The length they grew up bowling was their best ball. And at that point in time, it made sense. T20 was still new, bowlers hadn't fully adapted. But it turns out the bowlers were right about developing variations. Just not in the way we thought. It's not the number of variations that matters. It's the ability to read what the batter is expecting the least. And in the future, there are going to be loads of weird variations that have no place in any other form of cricket. Sam Curran's moon ball is just the beginning.
Always evolving as a player. In the 100 so far, I've noticed this little, I want to call it the moon ball, but it's been quoted as the slower ball. Where's that come from and sort of why have you added it to your armoury?
Alan Gardner describes it as a wondrous thing, a dipping super slow-mo delivery that begs to be hit, if only you can adjust accordingly. A helium balloon that develops a puncture halfway down, a looping lollipop of doom, the ultimate sucker ball. Basically a ball so bad that is good. And no, the classical length ball isn't the villain either. Just watch how Bumrah uses it. Every time you're convinced a toe-crushing Yorker is coming, he banks it into a hard length instead. And even when Bumrah misses his Yorker, his full toss becomes awkward, because the batter simply didn't expect it. But that's Bumrah. This video is about humans. In baseball, the sport most impacted by analytics, the sequencing of pitches is everything. The quality of pitcher is in its sequencing and randomness is engineered. Use of data is comparatively recent in cricket. And interestingly, a lot of early analysts were baseball guys. It's high time that we start analyzing a delivery based on the previous deliveries in T20 cricket. Just how random and unpredictable it is. The point is that an unpredictably bad ball is better than a traditionally good one. Kieron Pollard seemed to have figured that out a lot earlier. The art of spin bowling in T20s is almost diametrically opposite to longer formats. What is traditionally good spin bowling? Pitching it up, making the batsman play, keeping the stumps in play, bowling it slower through the air. Short and fast, absolute no-no. In modern T20 cricket, spinners often bowl short to take the short straight boundaries out of the equation. If you're someone like Krunal Pandya, you even bowl the occasional bouncer to catch the batter off guard. Another variation that has absolutely no place in any other format of cricket. More often than not, you also try to push it quicker in the air, attempting to cramp the batsman for room. Bowling wide outside the hitting arc is another completely acceptable strategy in T20s. Yuzi Chahal has almost made a career out of it. His bowling is simple. He bowls a couple of good leg spinners deliveries, slow and straight, and then gets hit for boundaries. Then he tosses one up really wide. The batsman, already loosened, tries to go after it and ends up skying it. So in a way, he bowls good balls to get hit for boundaries and a bad one to take wickets. Other times he builds pressure with good balls and then lures the batsman with the bad ones. The other half of the famous Kulcha, Kuldeep Yadav, had to start bowling quicker to find relevance again and make it harder for batsmen to hit him. He used to be a classical left-arm wrist spinner. Rashid Khan, the T20 sensation from Afghanistan, was always quick through the air. He used to be consistent with his length and turned the ball both ways just slightly. In the past few years, the batsmen have started playing him better than they used to. When they realize that there's not much variation in the length and pace, now they just stand and hit him like a pacer without thinking much. And that has worked. In other words, it became easier to hit him when they realized that he doesn't bowl too many bad balls. Next, the mystery spinners have been a thriving breed in T20s. Sunil Narine has about 6 variations that are hardly differentiable from one another. His Knight Riders teammate Varun Chakravarti is the current best in the genre. It happens so many times that he bowls unexpected short balls and takes wickets or effectuates misses. Outdated commentator Gavaskar calls it lucky. The problem with such a young and rapidly evolving format is that the people sitting in commentators' box, who've never played a single T20 in their life, have no idea what's going on. KKR spin bowling coach Carl Crowe, best known for helping Sunil Narine cure illegalities in his action, is the pioneer of this strategy. The guy's worked in the Big Bash, T20 Blast, and Global T20 Canada, and has crucial insight into modern T20s. Yet, the Gavaskars of the world find it hard to imagine why there might be a foreign spin bowling coach. In an interview with the Sports Star magazine, he talks about actually practicing bowling bad balls for different situations. He calls it anti-skill. Tim Wigmore argues for ambidextrous bowling, the ability to bowl with both arms, suggesting that if T20 bowling thrives on manufactured unpredictability, nothing would disrupt a batter more than a bowler switching arms. He notes that coaches traditionally discourage this at a young age because mastering one arm is difficult enough, let alone two. But as we know now, in T20s, effectiveness isn't about bowling perfect balls. And even a few unpredictably bad ones from the other arm can do the trick. That means we are going to see more and more of such bowlers in T20 cricket. A video so long and still doesn't explain it better than what Ashwin did when he said, 6 well-constructed bad balls is the way to go in T20 cricket.